Welcome back. Well, Defence Minister Rajnath Singh will embark on a two-day visit to France to participate in the Rafale combat aircraft handing over ceremony. The Defence Minister will also perform a Shastra puja after the handing over ceremony on the auspicious occasion of Dussherra. Interestingly, now the Rafale handing over ceremony coincides with the Indian Airforce Day. The Defence Minister will also take a sortie in the Rafale fighter aircraft. Rafale is one of the most lethal combat aircraft in the world at present and will significantly boost India's defence capabilities. During his visit to France, Rajnath Singh will also meet French President Emmanuel Macron. Shiv Arur is joining us live from our newsroom with more on this. Shiv, all eyes, of course, on Rajnath's visit to France. Many headlines that are expected, but most importantly, the handing over of the first Rafale jet. You know, for many of our viewers, if you could just break down what it really means, this moment for the Air Force.
It's a huge milestone for the Indian Air Force, Akshita, and like you rightly said, it's historic in many ways, because this is by far the most advanced fighter jet that the Indian Air Force obviously has ever operated. It has taken a long time and a lot of money, to get to this point. Tomorrow is when four aircraft out of a total of 36 will be handed over to the Indian Air Force tomorrow, and they will be ceremonially, commissioned into the Indian Air Force tomorrow in the presence of Rajnath Singh, the Defence Minister, who will not only, oversee and conduct a Shastra Puja with the Rafales right there at the Merignac Air Force Base, but will also fly in one of the Indian Rafales tomorrow in the afternoon. So it's going to be a very interesting, visually rich day. The Indian Defence Minister getting into a Rafale cockpit, getting a first-hand sense of what it's like to actually fly in the Rafale. He'll get a full briefing on the delivery schedule as well. The Indian Air Force pilots who are there, of course, the ceremony tomorrow will only, create a small pause in the proceedings, Akshita, because for them, they will be operationally flying and training on the Rafale before and after tomorrow's ceremony, all the way up till May next year, when the first aircraft are ferried back to India.
Okay, so there's a lot of anticipation for this moment. Shiv, as you pointed out, the Defence Minister is going to be taking a sortie. But many years ago, you had that opportunity as well at the Yelahanka Air Base in Bengaluru. And let's really play out that report from 2011 when Shiv Arur took a sortie in the Rafale.
Roaring, ready, and all set for the Indian Air Force. This week, the Rafale stretches its wings for the first time under the auspices of its new masters, pilots of the Indian Air Force. And as a whole generation of Indian aviators get set to operate one of the most advanced combat jets in production today, India today takes you where nobody else has managed to, directly into the Rafale's cockpit and into the air. Flavor of the season here at Aero India at Yelahanka is definitely the Indian Air Force's medium multi-role combat aircraft competition. We here at Headlines today have been invited to test fly what is perhaps the lowest profile contender in what we're calling the mother of all deals. This is the Rafale. That's right, we aren't kidding, we're talking literally. Long before the current crop of Indian pilots who'll get to fly the Rafale, India Today's Shiv Arur, that's me, became the first Indian civilian to do a sortie in the French combat jet. In 2011, Not long before the Rafale was officially selected as India's next fighter, following a grueling selection process, I was invited to strap in and experience the 4th-generation French jet for myself. For the flight, I needed to get the full lowdown on the advanced jet. Flying me on this warm summer morning at the Yelahanka Air Base in Bengaluru was Sebastian Dupont de Dineshin, an experienced Dassault test pilot with hundreds of hours on the Rafale jet. For this flight, I got to don a French Navy flight suit and boots, all crucial elements to the flying experience, and of course the all-important G-suit, indispensable for combat flying that involves sharp maneuvers. The Rafale is a beast of a jet, powered by twin-jet engines that make it one of the most agile aircraft in the air. I got a full cockpit briefing on the aircraft, including how to operate major systems, controls, and of course the emergency ejection system in case of any catastrophe in the air. Engines on, and the growl of the Rafale on the tarmac drowns out pretty much all else. Inside the cockpit, however, with helmet on, I can hear barely a rumble. And I remain in direct communication throughout with pilot Sebastian. With full afterburners on, the Rafale roars off the tarmac and rockets into the sky at a steep angle, followed by a sharp turn to the right, demonstrating the aircraft's incredible agility. Strapped into the Rafale, we exited Bengaluru airspace to less densely populated parts of the state for a full 15-minute flight, where I was given control of the jet at 16,000 feet for a full 15 minutes, allowing me to execute all manner of maneuvers, including full loops, barrel rolls, and steep dives, followed by high G level-out stunts. After a full demonstration of the Rafale sensor and combat systems, it was time to return to base. This is Shiv Arur at the Yelahanka Air Force Base for India Today.
And we're also getting you this report where Shiv Arur breaks down all the specifications that you need to know of the Rafale.
Well, the Rafale has become very familiar, especially in the last few years to us here in India. It's going to be the Indian Air Force's brand new jet. Let me tell you a little bit about this aircraft. It is by no means a small fighter aircraft. It's over 15 meters long and over 5 meters high. So by no stretch of imagination is this a small little light fighter. It weighs more than 24,000 kilograms and 9,500 kilograms is its load carrying capacity. So a huge multiplicity of options as far as weapons and equipment are concerned. 10.9 meter wingspan means these delta wings can carry a huge amount of fuel. It has a top speed of 1.8 Mach, 1.8 times the speed of sound, which is essential in modern air power and air combat. It has an approach speed of less than 120 knots, making it quite safe for pilots during that crucial landing phase. 50,000 feet is the maximum operating altitude of this fighter, which is quite high. And remember, like I said, that large fuel carrying capacity in those delta wings means it has a range in excess of 4,000 kilometers, which is large for a modern fighter, and a maximum thrust of 7.5 tons from each of those monster engines, making this one of the most maneuverable and agile fighters in the sky today. Most important of all, and the first thing, is long-range weapons. The missiles on this particular aircraft, mainly the Meteor air-to-air missile and the Scalp cruise missile, make this an aircraft that can execute a long-range fight unlike anything that the Indian Air Force has currently. It has a self-protection suite that makes it one of the most survivable fighters in the Air Force right now. If there are incoming missiles from enemies, it can still survive using its self-protection suite. It has one of the most advanced radars ever built for a fighter. It's an active electronically scanned array radar, unlike anything that the Indian Air Force has used before, and capable of guiding those long-range weapons that make it a game changer. A huge plethora of sensors that provide a really clear picture of the battlefield and are able to track targets very accurately to help those weapons execute the fight. It's got one of the smartest cockpits, unlike anything that the Indian Air Force currently has, giving pilots more time to focus on the fight and less time to focus on actually flying the aircraft. So the burden on the pilot is far less on the Rafale. And very importantly, lightning fast turnaround means after every sortie, after every mission, there is a minimum of maintenance required so that this fighter can be revived and made fit for the next mission. Very short time. That's called turnaround, and it's a huge game changer for the military.
Thanks for watching the video. For more such news and updates, please like, share and subscribe to India Today. Also check out our other great videos from our channel. We know you will love to.